All right, so masculine intuition. I found this clip from Jordan Peterson talking about his way of remembering things, or actually kind of pulling memories, keeping them, putting them in some kind of a framework. And I thought it was really fascinating because it was like the exact same wording, the exact same description as how Bill Gates does it. And this is how we're getting our information about how masculine versus feminine works, like holding memories in your observers. And so I've been kind of my own self trying to understand even my own masculine intuition. Like, okay, how am I remembering things? Because I'm not remembering the same stuff you are, like dates, times, names, numbers.
Just to kind of give a summary for people that aren't in the class. It's like we do seem to see people that were typing that we largely as people hold our memories in your masculine observer.
Right.
So for me, it's masculine SE, even though masculine SE is at the bottom.
And
demon. For you, it's masculine NI, which is also a demon.
Yes.
It's like we tend to hold on to the memories or whatever, or shove on the facts or the patterns of, I know what's going on. Is coming more from your masculine observer.
Yes.
That may or may not be a savior.
That's right. Okay, so let's take a look at how he describes it, and then we can talk about it from there.
Would you say you have some kind of a photographic memory a little bit, or no?
No, not at all. Not at all.
So all these books, are you the kind that you can say page 73, second?
No, I don't think like that. No, it's not. Okay, I know I've known people like that.
Right.
Like I had professors.
Because you seem like you may have a little bit of that. Because the way you...
Okay, so this guy is masculine SE at the top.
Right.
So he's going to remember like facts, timelines, things like that, details.
Right.
And this is masculine NE at the top.
Right.
So it's more like, snapshots of images or
something?
something?
Like they connect, they create frameworks and then they connect all the little connectors to each other.
Okay.
I don't organize myself that way. I knew professors at Harvard, one particular professor, Richard McNally, who was a walking library. Man, he extraordinarily well-read person, very, very smart, very fast on his feet. And that's really how he seemed to organize his knowledge. He would know the author, he would know the page, he'd know the source, he'd know where the book was on his shelf.
To me.
But I'm not like that.
Got it. I thought you were for sure someone. Okay, so let me...
So I have a theory that I've been working on for a very long time. And what happens when I read something is I plug it into the theory. So I know the full outline of the theory. It'd probably take me 45, 50 hours to lay it out in lectures. I've done that online. And then, but it grows and grows and grows and grows. And I know where to put everything. So if I read something, I think, oh yes, that slot's there. And so
you store it as well. If somebody asks you a question, you need to use that fact. You have it somewhere stored where you bring it and say, okay.
But it has to be related to...
Okay, so he's going, so you store a fact.
Right, that's masculine SE.
And so he's thinking he understands him, but
they're talking past each other.
They're talking past each other.
It's work that I've been doing over time.
Got it.
It's kind of like there's this technique called memory castle that people have used for centuries to remember things. And so what you do is you sit and you imagine might be a place that you know, like a geographic place, a house. And then you can place the things that you remember. Imagine you walk through the house. You can place the things that you want to remember at different locations in the house. Mm-hmm. But you have to turn what you're remembering into an image. And then you can walk through the house.
Which is great for masculine intuition.
Yes.
Where you're seeing things more visually.
Right. Darren Brown does this. This is how Darren Brown remembers all kinds of different things, how you count a deck of cards.
I don't do that. This guy doesn't do that.
Right.
Masculine sensory is not building a visual image of the abstract. It's just like, where's the kinesthetic timeline? Where do I lay the facts down in a line?
Yeah, right.
Lift things up and find what it is that you're trying to remember. I sort of do that with this theory. It's like it's been, I've literally worked on it it's been 40 years. And so I know the story and I know its branches and I keep adding to it and shifting pieces around from time to time. And so that's how I remember things. And I forget a lot of what I read, a tremendous amount of what I read. But now and then something pops up and it sticks.
There you go.
All right, so that's exactly what we're seeing with masculine intuition. You're going to have the ability. So like, here's what he was talking about. He's talking about a memory castle. They also call it like memory palace. He's basically talking about creating a world inside your mind that has visuals that allow you to connect concepts together. So like this is somebody that had memorized a deck of cards in a very short amount of time. This is the way that they created their whole...
Can we jump down to this image you have here with the people on it?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Jordan Peterson is describing like a visual masculine intuition. So him and Darren Brown, as you referenced earlier,
yes,
like those two would be the best at that kind of picture.
Right.
This is like a huge drop off. Like I am not... I am not doing what those guys are doing. I
That's
can
very
remember
true.
the patterns, but I remember it like kinesthetically through the facts.
Right.
Not this kind of memory, you know?
Right, absolutely. So like this is just my shit out timeline of like who would be the best. Like this might be adjusted. Maybe demon masculine would be better than you.
I feel like I'm like when it comes to intuition, I feel like I'm on that side.
Could be. I'm absolutely making this shit up. So you know whether this changes in a year or not. But that's basically what's going on. Is it's that in some way, shape, or form you will be holding on to it because of the masculine energy of it. So yeah, that might actually adjust. If we adjusted this, it would be Martha and I would go before you and Neil.
Right?
Yeah, which probably might be the case.
I don't know. I guess it's hard to see. I can't remember the pattern. I can't fucking remember. Like, do I remember patterns more than you? I don't know.
Right.
It's feminine intuition.
Right, exactly.
I'm paying attention to patterns more than you.
Right.
But I keep losing them.
I know.
And I can't see them visually, so I got to remember. I got to lock them down in the facts.
Right.
I'll find all these like Google Docs that I wrote years ago, where I'm scrambling down the sensory, trying to tell myself the pattern.
Right. Exactly. And that's honestly like this. So funny enough, like this is what they talk about in I guess what's the show Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah.
They talk Mind Palace, and this is how he creates it. It's funny enough, that particular character, Benedict Cumberbatch, like has masculine any at the top as well.
Right.
So this is something that
the
he's
actual actor.
The actual
in real life.
actor.
Yeah.
Right. And this is where I got this. So I've seen these kinds of like the way they're talking about it is this very like geometric framework. And then you'll notice as he's talking about it adding. And adding. And that's why it's sort of like this shape. It almost gets like honeycomb-like.
Right.
NI is very linear, and it's more like narrowing, and it wants it to be very narrowed down.
And I'm shaving away over time.
Yes, that would be the goal. The ultimate goal of NI is there is less added to it, not this sort of like interesting, puzzle piece framework.
So you have a couple things going on. You have like NI versus NE.
Right, which
and
these
you have
two,
Savior versus Demon. But really what you're talking about is like masculine intuition.
Yes.
Whether it's NE or NI, and really whether it's a Savior or Demon.
Yes.
Because we'll see people that are Savior sensory, but they have the masculine intuition, therefore the feminine sensory.
Yes, like me.
And they'll still be like, oh yeah, I'm picturing the patterns and visuals. I'm picturing them in these little palaces.
Totally.
I'm picturing the concepts linking together. Maybe I'm NE, maybe I'm NI.
Right.
But they're like visual modality connecting it.
Right.
Maybe they're not doing it all day long because it's a demon.
Right.
But they're still doing it.
Right. And you're just going to hear from somebody like, Jordan Peterson or even Bill Gates. Like he even talks about it like, I have this broad framework. He talks about it exactly the same way.
Right.
And I put things into this place and
I
connect them. That's how they'll just talk about it way more consciously.
Right.
They'll be responsible for it in a savior state. This is what Darren Brown does his whole show on here's how I memorized a whole deck of cards.
Right.
Let me tell you about this mind palace that I created to memorize those deck of cards. Someone like me is now going to have to work a little bit harder in order to remember things. If I want to get to my masculine observer, I have to go through and do my demon functions in order to remember better.
And so we'll see the all-star memories where you get a combination of like Savior
masculine.
and masculine. So like, these two guys over here where it's Savior and masculine, they're both really good for like visually remembering stuff.
Totally.
Tiger Woods, we did a class on him, and same with Gary Vaynerchuk. Like they will remember facts. Not only facts. Here's what's very, very fascinating about these two with the masculine sensory Savior.
Right.
Is they will remember timelines to great scale.
Yes.
There's one interview we saw with Tiger Woods where like his friends were like asking him like, where did you do this game? He's like, okay, that was when I was 12 years old. 12 years old at this golf course, and it was a rainy day, and we did this first, and then this, and they're going on asking him a quiz after quiz after quiz.
Like a savant type thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And then we see that with the Savior, sensory, masculine, can remember, hey, when was that event? It was 2002.
Oh, yeah. And you'll still see the masculine sensory demons doing the same thing. It'll just take, it feels like it just takes you a little bit longer.
But you'll see, like you said, savant level masculine memory on somebody that has its Savior. And then savant level, like, image memory if it's a Savior intuition.
1,000%. So for the rest of us.
The fucking idiots. Can't remember shit.
And that's so true. I took years. I had one of the most intense memento. Have you ever seen the movie Memento Brain?
I saw it, but I forgot it.
That's pretty good.
I I started at the end and watched it in reverse. And it all made sense. Yep. Right? That was a pretty good in reverse impersonation. I didn't know I could do that.
Was the audio just
It
right?
sounded
on that?
about right.
Yeah.
I should play that clip in reverse
See what
see
you
when I
said.
say, "Praise Satan, we are a cult. You must be praising Satan."
Oh my god!
Are you done yet?
Oh my god! Okay, so really